What if I told you it doesn't matter how many followers you had? Hitler had millions, Jesus had 12. Impact isn't in the count, it's actually in the conviction. It's in the message that you carry, the truth you stand on, and the lives that you touch. That's what today's Daily Truth is going to be about. I'm Anthony Michael Russo, a little afternoon edition, and I've been gone for a week. So I'm doing one day this week. Lots of travel. As you can tell, my voice is exhausted. Hope everybody's having a great day. I've got one more day before I fill my double down speaking class. I've got 3 spots left open. I would love if you are interested, put something in the DMs, put it on the comments below. Let me know. I will reach out to you. I really would like to fill this class, so I will find a way to work out payment plans and all that good stuff to make sure that it works. It's 8 weeks. 8 weeks of actually getting together, figuring out your story, getting better at utilizing your voice, building the business, not just around speaking, but around whatever you can utilize your story and your voice in your own personal life, relationships, and business. That's what that class is about. And it comes with 52 weeks or a year worth of open office hours with me, my team, etc. Every week you can come in, talk about the class or talk about whatever else you are working on that you might need help with. So it's essentially personal coaching with me. It's really great. I would love for you to join. If you're interested, 3 spots left. Hit me up with the message. It starts tomorrow evening, 6 p.m. Central Time. First class where we get right into it. A lot of group work, a lot of individual work as well. All right, that's what I got for you. Go to my Instagram at Anthony Michael Russo to check out all the different things that I do. I will have more information in the next, hopefully, week on the investment process with EA Sports. I know about 8 or 9 people reached out with some interest. I will have as much information updated on that as possible. All right, let's get into today's message. Super simple. Let me know what made you smile today, by the way, in the comments. That would be fantastic. What would make me smile is if I could get my voice fully back by tomorrow. That's what I want. So as I started, today's message is an important one because a lot of times we feel as though we need to have a bunch of followers to have a successful business. We need to have a bunch of followers to create an impact in the world. We need to have a bunch of followers that'll actually be there and listening to our message in order for us to be to actually have some kind of way of passing on our legacy to others. What I'm going to tell you, which is really interesting, is I was speaking this last week, and I'm sure I'll do another truth about this later on. There were 6 schools we spoke to. 5 of the 6 were fantastic. 1, we had a little bit of difficulty. The setting wasn't right. The audio wasn't great. The sound wasn't great in the room for people to actually hear what we were saying. And honestly, the kids were a little unruly. They didn't care much. They didn't want to pay attention. And the administration didn't seem to care much, which is fine, but it's different. We kept pushing through. I mean, I remember there was an paper airplane flying over the room while we were talking. Very interesting, very difficult. Felt like we were in an 80s movie where the kids smoke in the bathrooms. It was tough. But the one thing that kept what we talked about later is, look, there might have been 900 people in that gymnasium, and maybe 5 might have been actually listening. Who knows? Who knows how low the number was? But what if that impact on those 5 people changed their life? What if there's something that they heard from either Will Shields or Adrian or Toby or myself that made them go, this is something that I want to do with my life and a change that I want to make? So we got to remember, it's not about the amount of technically followers. It's about how strong of a message you can create to those that follow, which will therefore leave a legacy or spread messages as they become adults onto their friends or make an impact so they go do something productive with their life. It's not always about the quantity. It can be about the quality as well. Too many people think their voice doesn't matter because they don't have a massive audience. But in reference to my initial point that it doesn't matter how many followers you have, because Hitler had millions and Jesus had 12, which was the reason I'm saying this is I saw this on a sign at a church and I was like, ooh, I like that one. It was like their little thing in front. But you have to think about what Jesus did. He flipped the world around, created a multi-millennia impact with a crew that could technically today fit in a van. It's not about the number. It's about the fire. It's about the mission. It's about the message. So if you've got truth, which I know we all do, if you've got a story, which we all do, if you've got a purpose, which even if you haven't found it yet, I guarantee you that you do. And if you have the courage to share it, you're technically very, very dangerous. You're dangerous in the best way possible. Your message matters, but you have to actually get it in within you to push aside all of the self-limiting beliefs that you have to have a million Instagram followers to do anything and actually just start doing. So I'm going to give you, just because I like to have little notes before I start, I've got some scripture that actually relates directly to this. Acts 17:6 is a good one. These men who have turned the world upside down have come here also. These men who have turned the world upside down have come here also. Matthew 18:20. For where two or three gather in my name, there am I with them. So if your message just has enough people that will listen to your story or your mission or your goals, it doesn't take much for it to actually create change. It doesn't have to be in front of an auditorium of 1,000 glaring souls. Do not despise at these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin. That's Zechariah 4:10. It's just about taking the first step. You can't get through the forest if you can't take the first step to pass the first tree. So stop chasing popularity. Start living with purpose. You do not need a million fans. You need real faith. You need bold truth, and you need a message that matters. Speak it, post it, live it, do all the things into existence. If Jesus could change the world with 12 disciples, what is stopping you from changing your life and the people around you? Followers don't make impact. Faithfulness does. Standing true in your story, speaking your truth does. Truth multiplies, courage echoes. You matter. Your voice matters. Now go use it. And if you want help using that voice and sharing that story, that takes us back to the beginning of this message. Was what I said. If you want to take the 8-week speaking class, I've got 3 spots left available. I also have a webinar coming up. So you've got a couple options. If you want to know about the 8-week class that I'll be much more flexible than usual on, because I want to fill these 3 spots, hit me up with the message, do something to get in contact with me, and find a way. You can DM me on my Instagram. That's an easy way to see it. At Anthony Michael Russo, DM me there. If you just want to sign up for a speaking webinar, free speaking webinar later in the month, go to getbetteratspeaking.com. Again, that's getbetteratspeaking.com. And I will see you guys there. With that said, have a great day, ladies and gents. God bless. Don't surrender your pets. Don't be a garbage human being. And Charlie, we've got it from here.